If you are looking to read only one thing on this Sunday, I would highly suggest you read this paper, which is all about training a model on the data set generated by other models and if it works or not. This is the abstract of this paper, and I will share the link in video's description. And then we have this whole paper, which is a very nice read. Now, the thing about this model is that we need to look into the fact that how accurate are machine learning models that were trained on data produced by other models. There have been a lot of research going on around this, and these researchers, who are Ilya Shumailov and Zakhar Shumailov, and their other researchers at University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, Imperial College London, University of Toronto, Vector Institute, University of Edinburgh, and they argue both theoretically and also empirically that models, when they are trained almost exclusively on the output of earlier models, then they learn a distorted or skewed data distribution, and that's a huge finding. From their research, they have found out that the trained models um, are less likely to generate types of examples that appear infrequently in their training data. Also, they don't model their training data perfectly, so their output doesn't quite match the distribution of training data set. And the way it works is quite interesting. Look at this example, uh, which is the example of text output of an OPT 125 million model affected by model collapse. Now, what is model collapse? If you scroll down a little, this is where they define it, that model collapse is a degenerative process affecting generations of learned generative models where generated data end up polluting the training set of next generation of model. And then what is the data poisoning? Sorry, I think I clicked at the wrong place. Let me go back. So poisoning attacks are crafted and inserted during training in order to degrade the model's performance when deployed. Okay. Now, the way it is working is that these researchers trained models of different types. First, they trained a model on a human collected and curated data set, which is called as Gen 0, which is this output. And then they trained generation 1 of the same architecture on the output of Gen 0, generation 2 on the output of generation 1, and so on. So basically, this is a recursion of data set. In some cases, they also replaced a fraction of the generated examples with examples from the original training set. These researchers trained a Gaussian mixture model or GMM, which assumed that input data came from a pair of two-dimensional Gaussian distribution and clustered the data to fit them. They trained around 2000 generations of GMMs on 1000 examples generated by the previous generation model using no original data. They also trained a variational autoencoder (VAE) to generate MNIST digits over 20 generations. As with the GMMs, they trained each successive generation only on output produced by the previous generation. And then, as I mentioned earlier, they fine-tuned a pre-trained OPT language model on Wikitext 2. And you already know the results which I discussed above, that this is the successive generation of these models performed worse. So, and also they found out that in some cases it achieved quite a confusion and per- perplexity down the road. So very, very fine read. I would highly suggest that you read it if you are into the inner workings of LLMs and all this training data set and fine tuning, as it will be quite valuable. I hope that you like this. I will drop the link in video's description, and if you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you.